All right, we're going to do another episode of TriMet Elites ruining your life with no conscience, and do what we tell you or you're not. Let's see, where did I put that? Okay, here it is. Can you see this here? Okay. Planned or proposed rate hikes and taxes underway in Portland right now. PGE, 14%. TriMet, 12%. Parking meter, 20%. Water and sewage, 6%. Utility fee. Capital gains tax plus rent up 10%. So you tell me, are these people part of the problem or part of the solution? They are part of the problem. You have unelected, unaccountable elite doing the dirty work for the oligarchy via this crime syndicate called TriMet, who is paying all of these people exorbitant salaries to implement all of this. And we know why this is happening because we've heard it. The fare increase is happening because of the banks, and they said it, and I'm not playing it because I don't feel like it. But anyway, let's continue listening to their garbage.
Update from the latest meeting on the Committee on Accessible Transportation that we oftentimes refer to as CAT.
Yeah, good for you.
Thank you very much,
sociopath.
Chairperson Simmons. And I apologize, I did not bring my report, but I do have a report today, but I will submit my written report later.
Okay.
But we discussed mainly, the first thing we talked about at the CAT meeting was the fare increase, of course, that on everyone's mind, and everyone's mind today as well.
No shit.
And we talked about the impact of that, and I appreciated the fact that the CAT members were coming to testify and submit written testimony as well regarding the fare increase. Another major issue that was really talked about was the elevator issue, especially the one at Hollywood, and the fact that it's oftentimes inaccessible because of other issues that are outside of really TriMet's purview.
Oh yeah, sure.
But the good thing is that we're have a pilot program that's going to be lasting, and the CAT committee was really looking at that to be extended, hopefully, beyond the 30 days that the pilot program is going to run, because that's not enough time to really ascertain what the issues and concerns are going to be so that they can be addressed properly. Also, we talked about field trips. And field trip sounds like something elementary, but it is something that's very important in regard to accessibility. Because if you don't go out in the field, it's basically you're making decisions based on theory rather than making decisions based on actual life experience. And so that was a major concern that was brought up as well. And we're looking forward to having some field trips so we can go out and see exactly and have staff and those that are doing engineering.
Does anybody actually believe anything they're saying anymore? You've just seen how they have disregarded everything you said about the fare increase. So are you still taking them seriously? If you are, you're an idiot. Okay, they're not there for you. This is a theater of the absurd. He has nothing to say about any of this stuff. This all comes from the overpaid executives who basically are the owners of your system. And they're doing a shit job. I'm sorry to have to tell you that, but the place is a disaster.
Go out and also make decisions based on their experience out in the field, not just making those decisions and then having to come back and change things and make those difference. Also, those field trips are important because of some of the stops that the TriMet currently has, because some of those areas, the environment is not good. In other words, you may have a mobility issue and you're getting off at a stop and it has gravel, and it's not conducive to someone that has mobility issues, and certain other improvements that need to be made as well. Lift efficiency was also discussed, and there was a concern there because and that needs to be evaluated and is being evaluated also. And we do have we've added, actually TriMet has added other other companies that are going to be helping with the lift experience, simply because we have folks that have, and they're rare, but they do happen, that sometimes our folks are waiting 45 minutes for a pickup. And when that happens, there needs to be some things that aren't happening. So we're going to be working on that and continuing to make sure that we have those improvements take place. That concludes my report, unless there's any questions.
Thank you, Director Edwards. Director Gonzalez has a question.
Yes.
Thank you, President Simmons. Thank you for the report, Director Edwards. I guess it is a question. It's a request. Really fascinated by the conversation about the field trips. I think there's a lot of learning that can be had from them. I would encourage you to extend an invitation to the board. I'd certainly love to go on one of those. And I would encourage anyone that's on the transit planning side or on the capital improvement side to consider going on one of these. They're really eye-opening to see the world through the eyes of someone with mobility impairments or physical impairments.
Yeah. Thank you, Director Gonzalez. And that is really the main.
It's in the fridge. I forgot what it is.
The main point is to make sure that staff has a better understanding of those disability issues. So thank you for sharing that.
Thank you. We next move on to an update provided by Director Kim on the Metro
Sorry, I'm always distracted. This is garbage anymore.
Policy Advisory Committee. Director Kim?
Thank you. I was not at the March AMPAC meeting due to a personal event, but our staff, Ms. O'Brien, was able to attend on my behalf and take extensive notes for me, so here it is. At the March AMPAC meeting, Metro first provided updates on the Supportive Housing Services Program and Affordable Housing Bond Program. The presentation shared how the implementation of Metro's Supportive Housing Service Program has compared to its projected targets, with metrics on permanent supportive housing replacements, placements, rapid rehousing placements, eviction and homelessness prevention, and shelter units. Metro also shared the progress of Metro's Affordable Housing Bond Program, displaying the project's current pace towards benchmark goals, as well as detailing the project's locations and available units. The committee then discussed the upcoming 2024 Urban Growth Management Decision to consider if there's a need for expansion of the region's urban growth boundary, also known as the UGB. The committee heard about the outcomes of previous UGB expansions, as well as how growth is occurring in the region's existing urban centers. Planning will incorporate housing and land needs, employment forecasts, and economic aspirations, and an urban growth report to inform the potential need for additional land within the UGB. The evaluation will likely focus on tailoring the UGB decision to consider lands that do not have serious barriers to development and could be utilized quickly for future growth. AMPAC will be responsible for advising the council throughout the process. AMPAC then heard about Metro's new vision for the Expo Center. Last year, Metro put out a request for expressions of interest for public-private partnership to redevelop the Expo Center site. Metro has chosen to retain some of the Expo Center property as a community center while building out its capacity to hold sporting events and gatherings, a decision made due to Oregon's thriving sports industry. AMPAC meets again tonight.
Thriving. What's he talking about?
Thank you.
What?
Thank you, Director
What's
Kim.
industry?
Do any board members have any questions? Seeing none, we now move on to Director Way, who will provide an update from the Transit Equity Advisory Committee. Director Way?
Hello. Good morning, or good almost afternoon, everybody. So I just want to first acknowledge, just before I jump into this report, which will focus more on just some of the conversations and presentations that we're having around fairs, that just want to first and foremost just thank the public for coming out today, this morning, to take time off to come and be at this board meeting. So I just want to say thank you for being here. I want to listen to your voice. I think your testimony and your comments are, the reason that I am on this board is to listen to community. So first, I just want to acknowledge the thanks for just coming out here in what can be sort of an inconvenience time for you to show up and testify. So thank you. So I will just start with the TIAC report in April. So so we celebrated new affordable housing units, Fuller Station apartments, which is really exciting. There was a lot of community conversations that were happening around, the unfortunate fatalities that happened around Cleveland High School this year. And so this has resulted in some changes to Line 70's route, removing the need for students who live south of Powell to cross this, which removes the need for students who live south of Powell to cross the street on foot. And a lot of folks were just engaged, from our state representatives to TriMet to PBOT to you name it, were really involved in the discussion to how to make that particular crossing for students and communities safer around Cleveland High School. So thank you for showing up to those meetings. And then I'm just going to go and jump right into the two reports that the TIAC committee members received around the fare increase proposal. So we received an outreach report presentation from Jennifer Kuzer from our team about the fare increase proposal. That outreach report is linked publicly, so anybody can go and look at her the PowerPoint on this fare increase proposal. This report was also presented us to the board last month by JC Vanetta. And then we also received a Title VI report, which we will later hear more about today, which is a preliminary report and mitigation strategies that if the board approves the proposed fare increase, that TriMet staff and our partners will work on a series of mitigations to ensure that Title VI concerns are addressed. So now, the conversation and the discussion that we had with TIAC members around this fare increase, I would say just as an observer and a board liaison, was interesting. I think a lot of the concerns and issues that some of our members had talked about in the committee were brought forward today in testimony, so I won't repeat it, but one of the things that folks continue to ask us is, again, just this, impact, right? Disproportionate impact to people of color, low-income folks, if the fare increase were to happen. So that was sort of a common theme. And there was also some issues that were discussed around the current payment system with using the HOP card. So according to TriMet, 85% of payments...
I'm having trouble listening to them because they're just so useless. I mean, after that public testimony, it's just like, who can take them seriously anymore? I don't see what they got here. Okay, that.
Are paid with the TriMet Hop card. However, some people want to pay with cash, and Hop card could be sort of a hard thing in terms of technology and resources for other folks to access. And I believe that it's also only available in one language, which is English so far. So there's several accessibility issues that are happening with the Hop card that needs to be resolved. And then there were just some general questions about how can we get more people involved in the current fare relief program. Some folks cited, again, language issues, accessibility issues, or just, quite frankly, not knowing enough that there are, different programs that are out there to help them pay for fare. And then last but not least, members in discussion with just, the ongoing discussion around fares have really sort of prompted myself and some of the other TIAC members, as well as staff, to really carefully and thoughtfully think about creating a work group to
a work group. Jesus. Bunch of crap.
Look at everything that is related to fares. So this particular work group is being, put together right now.
A work group! That will solve it! A work group of elites.
We've spoken to General Manager Sam Dessou about the possibility of, again, bringing folks at the table. This is an ongoing concern from community, is that, the board is just not being responsive.
It's going to be too late because you're going to pass the stupid fare, and that's that. So shut up, Kathy. Stop being insincere.
Responsive, right? We're just not listening to community when it comes around concerns around fares.
You're not.
So this work group is not the buy-all
your work group is a fraud. All right? You're a liar, and it's a fraud.
And all for anything, this is really just the first steps of starting a formal conversation.
Shut the hell up. You're raising the fares, okay? The discussion is over. Okay, you're going to disregard the community completely because you're worried about your bond rating. My bond rating is going to go down.
With anybody who would like to be involved with fair relief, fairless systems, and other approaches that are being explored by other agencies and other states. So I just want to put on the record that that this work group will begin monthly meetings in May to, again, explore external resources, i.e. funding, fair mitigation models, current fare subsidies, as well as other fairless systems and approaches being explored by other agencies. This group will present preliminary findings to TIAC in December 2023 or January of 2024.
Oh boy, how lovely. We'll present the findings next year. Bullshit.
24. So I just want to put on record that there is a formal process that is taking play right now to make sure that concerns that have been being raised by community are being addressed in a venue, in a channel. And I also want to say that we are looking for recruitment. So we are looking for, all of you who are excited about fairs and wanting to keep, working on what are different, models that we can explore. Please join this work group.
No.
Amparo, if you can raise your hand.
Waste your time, join their fucking fraud. Pretend that they're going to change anything. They're not going to do anything. Okay, stop being fooled by these people.
We are recruiting at this minute. So this is what community engagement is about, right? Is being responsive to you and saying...
No, it's not, because you're going to do what the community doesn't want. So don't even, this is a fraud.
Hey, we're going to start somewhere. So that concludes my report. I look forward to having more discussions and entertain any questions that committee members may have.
Thank you, Director Way. And Director Gonzalez has a question.
Thank you. Thank you, President Simmons. Thank you for the report, Director White. The work group, for those that are online and aren't here to snag you or Amparo today, is there a way for folks to chime in if they're interested in the work group? Could you help us understand that?
I don't know if can staff come up actually, because I know that I got an email about hey, we're starting this work group, please sign up, here's a doodle poll, we'll figure out the meeting times and frequency. But I don't know if staff want to come up and clarify that process.
Or wait.
And thank you.
Who's that?
Oh, thank you.
What kind of what are you wearing for a mask, Alan? Okay, if you want to wear a mask, wear this one. Okay, if you're really concerned about getting sick, this is the mask you want. The N95 type. I don't know what you're wearing there, but that's the funniest looking thing I've ever seen.
Good morning. My name is Amparo Agosto, and I am the manager for community engagement programs here at TriMet. I sent out
A nice, diverse employee.
emails to our TIAC groups, and our Committee on Accessible Transportation were invited first to this committee. Of course, we do have open spaces for members of the community who want to join in. If you would like to find how to contact me, you can go to TriMet and Equity, or you can look up TriMet Transit Equity Advisory Committee. My information is listed online. It's Agosto, AGOSTOA, at TriMet.org. So reach out. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. So now we're going to move on to the final board report today, and it's going to be provided by Director Irish Bauman, who's going to provide an update on the Tax Supervising and Conservation Commission meeting that was held earlier today.
Why is she going to review what we just watched?
Dr. Bauman?
Yes. Hello, everyone. For those who were here early this morning, you heard the TSCC hearing. TSCC is the Tax Supervising and Conservation Commission. I'll just give you a very brief rundown of that meeting. General Manager DeSue opened the meeting by describing TriMet's budget for the upcoming fiscal year and various features, including plans for increased service. The members of the commission then had several questions for TriMet staff. TriMet staff responded
By the way, that was the worst tax supervising meeting I've ever seen.
on issues including ridership recovery, the proposed fare increase and fare relief and mitigation efforts, budget projections given some of the current funding issues, safety, security, and operator staffing. And in addition, there were questions about capital projects. Finally, at the end of the meeting, the commissioners of the TSCC voted to sign the certification letter, and they expressed satisfaction with the TriMet budget.
Oh, boy.
That is the end of my report.
Thank you, Director Bauman. I don't see any questions, so at this point, I'm going to move on to the General Manager, who's going to...
Next up is Sammy's useless bullshit nothing report. Well, that's enough of this crap for me.